Hello, my friend, and welcome. I'm grateful that our paths have crossed again. Another night has come, and it's time for a bedtime story. Please, climb these steps and sit beside me on this old wooden bench. The story I want to tell you tonight is not an easy one. It's about the time I wanted everything to end, but it's also about why I stayed. Take a deep breath. Ease your shoulders and close your eyes for a moment. Maybe this story will change our lives, or maybe you'll share it with someone who needs to hear it. Before we begin, I just want to take a moment to appreciate the beauty of this night. Can you feel that soft breeze? The light rain of spring? The glow of the full moon? There's something about the scent of rain that carries the promise of a new beginning. Flowers will bloom, and trees will come alive with green leaves once more. This is my grandmother's home. It was built in the 1950s, and this porch right here is my favorite place in the world. Do you know why I love it so much? Because when I sit here in silence, I can go back to a time before the pain, before the struggles. I can still hear my cousin's laughter echoing in the night as we played our favorite childhood games, chasing each other through the garden, giggling until our stomachs hurt. I can still smell the incredible meals my grandmother cooked for us. But I also know that this porch will not be here forever. That's why I cherish it while I still can. And tonight, I'm even happier because you're here with me. So, shall we begin? It hit me on a random night. This strange, unfamiliar weight in my chest, a heaviness I had never felt before. Was I overwhelmed by too much? Or had I become completely numb? I had always known that something inside me didn't feel quite right. But this was different. It wasn't going anywhere. No matter what I did, nothing brought me joy. I searched for answers. Was it my childhood, my heartbreaks, my failures? I ran through every painful memory, every rejection, every disappointment, but none of them seemed to hold any power over me. And yet, I was sinking. The strangest part was that no one noticed. I went to work, I made people laugh, I listened to their problems, and they told me that no one understood them the way I did. They were grateful for my presence in their lives. But none of it meant anything to me. I couldn't taste, I couldn't smell, I couldn't even read, and yet I could. I just didn't feel it. Do you know what I mean? The things that once brought me comfort were suddenly hollow. I tried listening to my favorite song, Time in a Bottle by Jim Croce, but even that felt empty. And the worst part? No one understood. I reached out, I asked for help, but they just didn't see it. How could they? To them, I was the same person I had always been. This is the hardest part of my story. But I promise I won't stay here for long, because what happens after this, that's what truly matters. After months of struggling, fighting, and feeling nothing at all, I reached a decision. This wasn't a rough patch. This wasn't something that would pass. It was simply the end. I set a date. I made peace with it. I was ready. And yet, here I am, sitting on this porch, breathing in the night air, feeling the rain on my skin, listening to the soft hum of the world around me. Here I am, telling you this story. Why? Because I found my meaning. But before I tell you how, please take a deep breath with me. Listen to the gentle rain. Let's pause for a moment. Because this isn't just my story. It's one we all share in different ways. There's a poem by Ella Wheeler Wilcox that I want to share with you. It's one that once left me feeling lonelier than ever, but now I hear it differently. Laugh, and the world laughs with you. Weep, and you weep alone. For the sad old earth must borrow its mirth, but has trouble enough of its own. At first, I thought this was a poem about loneliness, about how we must carry our burdens in silence. But I'll recite it again at the end of our story, because in time, I realized it holds a much deeper truth. My friend, listen to me carefully. Depression is one of life's greatest challenges. But here's the thing, no one tells us that. No one prepares us for it. Just like so many of life's struggles, we're left to figure it out on our own. And that's why I'm here, speaking to you tonight. I learned something that changed my life. The Austrian neurologist and psychologist Viktor Frankl, a man who holds a special place in my heart, once shared an insight that reshaped my understanding of existence. No instinct tells us what we have to do, and no tradition tells us what we ought to do. Sometimes we don't even know what we wish to do. Instead, we either wish to do what other people do, or we do what other people wish us to do. We live in a time where society constantly tells us to hustle, to achieve, to chase after things we didn't even know we wanted. We are bombarded with expectations, rules, and pressures that were created by others. But our minds, they crave freedom. They crave meaning. We try to fulfill every superficial need, but the one need we continue to neglect is the need for meaning. And that, my friend, is what saved me. That's where my mind shattered every illusion and embraced its freedom. My never-ending suffering helped me finally see the value of my work clearly. I understand now how I can help people through it, how my work carries a purpose greater than just me. It had always been true, but suffering made it undeniable. You are not alone. There are millions of people walking through the same storm as you. We just don't see each other. We need to step outside. We need to say hello. We need to ask people how they're doing and truly listen, because every single person you pass is carrying something heavy, just like you. But when we find our why, we can endure any how. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how." And Viktor Frankl, who survived the horrors of Nazi concentration camps, witnessed this truth firsthand. He wrote, "In the camps, those who knew that there was a task waiting for them to fulfill were most apt to survive." I wept as I read his words. But the passage that changed me the most was his realization of love's power. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, he shared a truth that has stayed with me ever since. He found strength in love. Love that transcended suffering. Love that existed even without certainty. He didn't know whether his wife was alive, yet thinking of her, remembering her, gave him purpose. And from that suffering, he came to understand something profound. For the first time in my life, I saw the truth as it is set into song by so many poets, proclaimed as the final wisdom by so many thinkers, the truth that love is the ultimate and the highest goal to which man can aspire. Then I grasped the meaning of the greatest secret that human poetry and human thought and belief have to impart. The salvation of man is through love and in love. My friend, let this story be the beginning of your own transformation. Let your pain guide you toward meaning. Let your suffering be the soil from which you grow. Life will challenge you again and again. But that's how we bloom. Rainer Maria Rilke once wrote, "How much suffering there is to get through." But remember this, what you have experienced, no power on earth can take from you. And through suffering, we find meaning. It shapes us, strengthens us, and carries us forward. Never say, "I have nothing more to expect from life." Instead, ask yourself, as Viktor Frankl once helped others realize, what is life expecting from me? Find your why, and I promise you, you will endure anyhow. Thank you for sharing this night with me, my friend. Promise me you will get better, because you deserve it. And promise me you'll ask for help if you need it. Seek professional help in your area, and I promise you they can help. Wonderful and compassionate people helped me, and they will do the same for you. Now, let's listen to that poem one last time. But this time, hear it differently. When I first heard these words, I thought they spoke of loneliness, that we must carry our burdens in silence. But now, I understand their deeper truth. We are not alone. We suffer in silence, yes, but there are others just like us, carrying the same weight, searching for the same light. And through love, kindness, and understanding, we can help each other find it. Laugh, and the world laughs with you. Weep, and you weep alone. For the sad old earth must borrow its mirth, but has trouble enough of its own. Sing, and the hills will answer. Sigh, it is lost on the air. The echoes bound to a joyful sound, but shrink from voicing care. Good night, my friend. I'll be here whenever you need me.